Hi, I'm Dinesh Fannin, and I'm Director of Global Marketing for HCP at Chiesi Global Rare Diseases. And I'm very excited to talk to you today about the Rethink Fabry campaign, something that we've been building for over a year to help really foster better education, better standards, better expectations for the community overall. The Fabry community is one that I am really proud to be part of and really excited to share some of this campaign with you today.
I am Lisa Green, Director of Global Marketing at Chiesi Global Rare Diseases. I am extremely excited to share with you about the journey of our Rethink Fabry campaign. In order to understand and appreciate this journey, we really need to first start with who we are, who Chiesi is. Chiesi is a global pharmaceutical company with its headquarters in Parma, Italy. The Global Rare Diseases business unit is located in Boston. Now, there are three things that truly makes Chiesi unique and special. One, we are a family business. So this means we're here to stay and will continue to be here for years to come. And two, our focus in R&D. 40% of the rare disease revenues are invested in R&D. And three, we are B Corp certified. Chiesi Global Rare Diseases GRD focuses in three categories: lysosomal storage disorder, rare hematology and immunology, and rare ophthalmology. Rethink Fabry campaign is a part of the lysosomal storage disorder category.
Chiesi is the largest pharmaceutical group in the world to be awarded B Corp certification. B Corp is a business that balances profit with purpose. They're legally required to take the impact of their decision, their workers, customers, suppliers, community, and their environment. It's a global movement, being a B Corp, of people using business as a force for good. We strive to implement these across our mission as Chiesi Global Rare Diseases, and in particular for the patients that we serve.
We are very close to the patients, to the caregivers, and their families. Our mission in patient advocacy is let the patient voice shape who we are. I've recently met Vicky and Fred at the Jeffrey Modell Foundation. I've familiarized myself with the story of their son, who was born in 1970 and was diagnosed with a rare immune deficiency. Jeffrey said throughout his life, do something. He was right. We should all do something about rare disease.
Fabry disease is a rare progressive disorder that falls under an umbrella of diseases called lysosomal storage disorders. It's very rare. There's less than 10,000 patients in the United States with this disease, and even fewer of those patients will ever actually achieve a diagnosis, and even fewer will ever be able to receive any kind of therapy to help their disease. Part of the difficulty in Fabry disease is what a range of symptoms that occur when you have it. Fabry pain, angiokeratomas, general fatigue, cardiovascular outcomes, renal outcomes are all issues that we have to maintain and monitor that decline when you have Fabry disease itself. It's a very debilitating disease that really diminishes quality of life over time and gets worse and worse with age. So that is why educating around these symptoms and what patients are going through, as well as the opportunities for improving that, are critical for the community to gain better expectations for as they look to the future. When building this campaign from the HCP perspective, we knew we had several unmet needs to close the gap on with our communications. For nearly 2 decades, there hasn't been a lot of innovation in the space overall. There's been a couple of therapies out there that have improved standards for patients, but it remains to be a very rare disease that there's little clinician understanding on overall, except at a very high level from a KOL perspective. What we saw was a lot of complacency in the market itself. There was kind of knee-jerk habits and understanding of patients, and a lack of awareness overall of really what the patient was going through. So we knew we needed to shift that mindset from an HCP perspective to really be more aware of what the patient is going through, the struggles that they face on or off therapy, to be more proactive in monitoring the key clinical signs that we know can be prevented with good treatment and therapy, as well as really to engage in better conversations from a patient HCP standpoint. We want to give a voice to the patient to speak about their struggles, to talk about the things that are going on in the day-to-day lives that Fabry plights them with, as well as the HCP side, to really strengthen that conversation, understand that better, and be more proactive about educating themselves as well as the patient.
Well, many people with Fabry believe that their disease is under control, but these people might still be experiencing daily symptoms that they may think are unavoidable or may have accepted them over time. Now, these symptoms can range from pain to GI issues to fatigue and can make daily life harder to live. And because Fabry is a progressive disease, people with Fabry disease develop problems with their end organs, such as kidneys, heart, and brain. And the dangerous thing is that all while that these people believe that their disease is under control. So complacency and status quo can no longer be a viable and sustainable option. So that's why we believe that everyone in Fabry community, ranging from doctors to patients to caregivers, can truly benefit from a greater awareness of what people with Fabry diseases are facing, what their daily lives looks like, and how they feel and what can be done about it. So greater awareness can create better possibility for people with Fabry, and it can lead to more proactive care, more informed care, and more advanced care. So let's hear directly from a patient.
When I was diagnosed, there were no treatments for Fabry disease. And I was like, great, I know what I have, but now what do I do? It was tough, and I felt lost. I wanted to run away. So I got on my bike as a 15-year-old with nowhere to go, and I kept going for hours. But ultimately, I had nowhere to go. I was concerned and worried all the time, wondering if there would ever be a treatment available and what was going to happen to me. When the first treatment was finally approved about 15 years ago, I got on it. But my symptoms never really got any better, and since it was such a burden, I eventually stopped treatment. But that didn't help me either. My symptoms remained, and some got worse. Joint pain, GI symptoms, fatigue, heat and cold intolerance, shortness of breath, headaches, lymphedema in my legs. All these symptoms grew in frequency and continued to worsen as I got older. The fact about it is, if you look at these pictures of me, you would never suspect I have Fabry disease. But I do. And the most frustrating thing to me is that when I go to the doctor today, I look like a rock star on paper. Yet I struggle daily.
After we learned and internalized the disease burden people living with Fabry experience, we set out to develop a campaign that aims to bring a movement and to motivate the community. A campaign that empowers the community to demand more from their healthcare providers, their treatments, and even themselves. A campaign that can instill hope and a brighter tomorrow. So we partner with Calcium, our ad agency, to bring our campaign vision to reality. So most of you are familiar with the campaign development process, and many concepts and headlines were developed and tested. We ended up with the anchor concept, because the imagery clearly conveys a transformation from being weighed down by the burden of the Fabry disease, represented here by the anchor, and dissolving and transforming into birds, representing hope and possibilities. So for the campaign imagery development from the concept, we worked with Sala Magica, a production studio. So to bring the imagery to life, every element was carefully scrutinized. For example, the sunlight peeking through the clouds has to be just right, so it doesn't look too gloomy or opposite, implying too much hope. The rate of the anchor dissolving into birds has to be just right to clearly see the transformation. And even the type of birds was carefully selected. We ruled out seagulls and doves as people have different interpretations of them. So we settled on a modified version of the common term.
We leveraged all classic channels to approach this campaign and drive awareness and get people to engage with the content on the site. We made a host of downloadable resources on the patient and HCP side, created video content. On the HCP side, we included KOL videos with thoughtful perspectives on not only clinical understanding, but as well as specific issues that really haven't been uncovered very deeply before, such as Fabry women, a classically underserved population within the Fabry community, as well as on the patient side with some psychosocial disorder discussions with our patient webinars. We were able to leverage this content and piecemeal it out across different HCP channels as well as patient channels to get people to come to the site itself. Once they're on the site as well, we developed an RM program, which was an email program that people would sign up and get continued information and helpful resources on a periodic basis. This helped us kind of understand who we were speaking to on a deeper level, as well as help us optimize this content as we continue to evolve it over time. A little over a year from building this campaign, we're proud of many of the accomplishments that we've already achieved. We've introduced who Chiesi was to the global rare disease community and really made an impact within Fabry itself. We're educating patients about how to be more aware of treatment options and about what really the symptoms are they should be thinking about and discussing with their HCP. And on the HCP side, we're providing resources for deeper clinical understanding as well as really what the status quo is in Fabry and how that needs to be changed. Different patient organizations as well as healthcare institutions have included their information on their sites. We see this being shared and the community is just growing over time around rethinking Fabry. Of course, when building a campaign, it was definitely done as a collaborative team effort. We'd like to specifically thank our agency partners, Calcium, for helping us build this in a rapid, evolving time during COVID, never having seen each other. We built this from scratch, from idea to full execution, and continue to optimize it over time in just a few months itself, as well as our patient advocacy groups, FSIG and National Fabry Disease Foundation, NFDF, for helping us connect to the community, developing a deeper understanding of what patients are going through and how to properly communicate that, as well as giving us feedback and sort of working and evolving this over time. It's been a lockstep partnership, and we continue to evolve that over time to really making a difference for everyone involved.